Hey folks, it's Kai, your genderqueer relative here. I had a lot of people ask me to do more videos about swords and muscles, so here I am. Now, first of all, as I've mentioned before, most of the sword work I used to do was actually for stage, which means that you do a lot of choreography. And the group that I was with no longer exists, so I'm going to go ahead and show you some of our choreography. Now, the thing about choreography is that you are aiming for a part of bodies, and you're trusting that the other person is going to basically be there to block it, to make sure that you don't actually kill them. And the other part of choreography is to have enough control that if they are not there to block it, you stop right before you kill them. So, with a sword, this is, as I mentioned before, basically a hand and a half sword, which means that you can use it with one hand or you can use it with two. Usually, you would use it with your two hands, one choked up on the hilt, and then the other one would be for better control, so that would be here at the end. Now, we basically have a count of 6 different targets, and the targets would be based on the right side of your opponent. So like 1 is your opponent's just above their shoulder, right at their neck. 2 is just above their shoulder on the left side of their neck. 3 would be the right side around the knee level. 4 would be the left side around the knee level. 5 was a big heaving split down the middle, and 6 is a jab right for the gut. Now all of these are very dramatic swings. You wouldn't normally use those kinds of swings in order to actually kill somebody because they're easy to read, but they're also easy for an audience to read, and the audience needs to know what you're doing, basically, because otherwise a fight doesn't make a lot of sense. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pull back, and 6. And basically the ideal is that each time that you're doing it, you turn the sword in such a way that the other sword hits the side and doesn't hit the flat of the blade, because you don't want to destroy your blades when you're basically tinging weapons off each other. And what we would do is we do rounds of doing just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'd spin, and if there was a staff involved, there's also 7 and 8. Now, you can get a lot out of those 6 basic moves for choreography, because if you both know the rules, then block 1, the blocking person is blocking to the right, the swinging person is swinging to their left, your right. Block 2, block 3, block 4, and for 5, you sweep it out of the way. And then, for 5, you block up, make sure it's up high. You definitely do not want this to hit yourself in the head. Stitches happen then. And 6, you sweep out of the way. So, again, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4, block 5, block 6. And each time that you attack, you take 1 step forward on the opposite foot. And each time that you block, you take 1 step back on the opposite foot. That way, you keep the fight moving back and forth. This is a good step for theater in the round especially. It's a lot easier for people to see, but also you make contact on both sides. Now, as I've mentioned before in other videos, this is technically a combat capable weapon, but it's not one that I would use for a lot of active fighting because it would ding up really badly. The kinds of swords we used for active combat were thicker and more like the kind of sword you actually would have seen for a certain period of time, because a sword should be kind of thick if you're going to have to repair it many, many times. Anyway, that's a brief overview into combat choreography. Another time when I have a demonstrator with me, I'll teach you how to do a little bit of physical impact choreography, how to fake a fist fight, so to speak. Thanks. Hope you're staying warm out there.